so if I get into this position, I get my grip, okay? His knee is inside, yeah, put your knee back inside, okay? So if two things can happen. They don't like this pressure and they start melting, or they don't like the leg configuration. They don't feel good about the kind of guard that they have. Sometimes they'll kick that leg out and try to latch onto just an old school, regular half guard figure four, okay? They might try to do the lockdown, okay? So we definitely need to be cautious of that. The lockdown is very annoying. I don't think it's a great guard, but it is kind of a stall tactic. It just kind of slows you down, okay? But if they do kick that leg out, you know, just kind of walk your foot a little bit closer to their abdomen, their hips, just them in general, and they'll have a hard time. If the foot's far away, then it's much easier for them to hook it. Okay, so we keep that foot, we walk it up, okay? And what I'm gonna do, because you can see he made himself flat on the mat, right? He unwrapped his body, right? So if he's on his side, his body is on top of my forearm, but if he rolls to the flat of his back, my hand is just the only thing under him, my arm is not under him at all. So it's useless, okay? But what I'm gonna do is, as soon as he turns flat, I'm gonna walk my hand up the side of his body and take the underhook on the near side. And this is a fabulous tool, okay? The near side underhook, okay? It's something that I just recently, maybe in the past year or two, that I started using a lot. And it's been a massive improvement for my guard passing, okay? So, Tristan doesn't want this body pressure, he doesn't like it, or maybe I just melted him enough that he gave up and he went flat on his back. So you guys can't see it, but this hand just spider walks up his body. Just like this. Up under the arm on the near side, okay? And what I like to do from here, I stay chest heavy, okay? And I open my arm and I give him this big opening over here. I want him to take that. And a lot of people will take it, right? He's in half guard with his left leg free. So it makes sense for him to make the underhook on the left side. We all learn that this is good jiu-jitsu, right? To have the underhook on the same side as your half guard so that he can slowly creep out under my armpit and maybe take my back or get a nice sweep. Yeah, this is classic jiu-jitsu, okay? The thing is, if we have the underhook on the near side, he's never able to actually build up onto his elbow. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stay heavy on his arm. He can have it. I want him to put it in there, and then I drop my body on it and I kind of pinch my elbow, and I don't let him lift me up too high, okay? So I'm staying low, and this hand is kind of helping me, right? I'm kind of pushing myself down, and I want to kind of pinch my armpit over his forearm. So he can try to lift me up. He's gonna have a hard time, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive forward and put my forehead on the mat, okay? My hand is on the mat. I have two hands on the mat for good base, okay? And now I'm gonna walk my hips up. He's gonna try to hold onto my leg the best that he can. And then look, my free leg is gonna cut right across his belly, like that. And I'm gonna turn his hips over. And now my near side underhook has become a far side underhook. You guys understand? And the far side underhook he had is now a near side underhook that's useless. Okay? Because the near side underhook on the bottom is kind of useless. So then this foot, he could try to hold onto my foot, but it's inevitable. This is gonna come out eventually. We're gonna push and pull, especially when you have this top leg to push and pull with. So we push, pull like a bicycle. Eventually it comes out. If you're really having a hard time with it, what you're gonna do is focus on smashing his face. Okay, you got a shoulder and you got a head. So I'm gonna I might come in here and start grinding on their face, drive my shoulder pressure up under their jaw, push, pull, bah, it comes out. Take the tricep, slide through, okay? A big mistake that a lot of people make when they pass is they try to square up right away. But look, Tristan took advantage of all that space and he re-guarded himself. So when you land here, take your feet on the mat and back your hips up into their hips. Back their hips up, and now look, I've turned them away a little bit. Now I square up with them. And now I have my knees under his body, and for him to turn into me, it'd be very difficult, okay? So we call this park the truck. right? You know when you want to back your truck into your driveway, you go like, that's what we're doing here. I went forward, I pass, and now I'm just gonna keep my hips on the mat and walk my hips back. Even if he doesn't turn away from me, but I just connect my hips to his hips, then I can put my knee on the mat, and then I can square with him. And I didn't allow him space to stick his knee back inside. Let's try a different angle. Okay, so. Cool. Got my body wrapped, head on the outside. I step over his knee. He doesn't like it, yeah, he kicks the leg out. Probably 50% of the time this happens. So now I can kind of flatten him out. My hand comes out from under his body. I sneak it up under the near side. Okay? So you guys can see, near side underhook. But I leave this hand open for him. I leave it open. And then I pinch. Okay? And now I'm going to put my forehead here. So I use my toes, drive my weight forward, forehead on the mat, hands on the mat like I'm doing a wide push-up. Okay? He's flattened out. Use your toes and walk your hips up, just so you have enough space to bring your knee through. So if you're short, you don't have to bring your hips up too high. If you're Mark, you have to bring your hips up very high to get that knee to come through. So whatever the length of your femur is, you need to go at least that high off the mat with your hips. Okay? Cut the knee across the body. Okay? And look, just until your foot hooks on the hip like that. So I kind of make a seat belt. And then I use my legs to roll him onto his hip. And then I start pushing and pulling with my legs. Eventually the foot will come out. Bop. Take the tricep. Pass your leg through. Okay? And then back your hips up, back your hips up, back your hips up. Now we square up.
All right,